Hi everyone, my name's Cathy Wareham. I'm a digital analyst here at RocketMill, and I wanted to talk to you about 3 game-changing analytics tools that you're currently not using. So a bit of background to this. Before I joined the data team, I was a self-taught analyst, and you can learn absolutely loads from Google and online, but inevitably there was a few really useful things that I missed that I've learned from the expert guys here, and I wanted to share them with you as well. So the first one is the navigation summary report. This is actually a standard Google Analytics report. I just didn't see it because they sneakily hid it as another tab. It's actually under the All Pages report. And the reason this is so useful, it's straight out the box, you don't need any additional tracking, and it will let you look at an individual page and you can see the pages people looked at before and the ones after. So let's have a quick look. So that's the report, there's your home page in the middle there, and as you can see on the left and right, the previous and next pages. And there is also a sister report that is underneath the landing pages tab, and that will tell you where people go from the pages that they land on your site. So this is a really handy one. Moving on to the next one. So this is Regex, which is short for regular expressions. This is something that I actually had come across in my research, but it kind of looks quite terrifying and a lot of things that you find. I thought I don't really have time to learn a whole other language, so I kind of skipped past it. But actually there are a lot of simpler ones that are quite useful. So this is the pipe symbol, so here it is. And in Regex it means or, so that is this thing or that thing. And you can use this all throughout Google Analytics or Tag Manager. So for example, I used it creating some IP address filters in Google Analytics. So if you've got 5 IP addresses, instead of creating 5 separate filters, you can have one IP address or that one or that one. So it saves you a lot of time, keeps your account tidy as well. And I wanted to show you this quick example from a client that we looked at recently. So I wanted to create 2 audience segments for this website who've got quite distinct audiences, and I was looking at the landing pages because there are different sections of the site, and there's quite a lot of different site sections. So with my OR symbol, I was easily able to set up the segments, so this section or that one, group them all neatly together, and I was able to quickly set that up so I could spend my time finding some interesting insights and looking at the 2 different audiences. This is also a little bit of Regex. I feel like this is the one that probably would have saved me the most time, but this is quite like a specific example. So when you're in Google Tag Manager, often you want to trigger an event when somebody's clicking on a specific part of your page, a particular page element. So I'd sift through the HTML, find, say this is product, which is a class. I'd put that in and then it wouldn't work. But this little piece of Regex is something that changes what you're saying slightly. So you're not saying just this element with this class, you're saying it's this element and all the elements underneath it. And that would have really helped me and saved a lot of fiddly kind of tag manager experimenting. And so this one kind of leads into my next one actually, which is to talk about the data layer. This is something that I'd also read about, but it looked super complicated. I thought it was just for developers and only for e-commerce stuff. But actually, this is one of the most powerful measurement tools we have access to. You can measure almost anything with it. So what the data layer is basically a 2-column table that sits behind the scenes in your web browser. So it stores all that information like device category, mobile, page path, home, all that stuff behind the scenes. So it's then picked up by Tag Manager and then sent through to Google Analytics. So you can actually add your own bits of information into this. And so say for example you had a product page on your site and you wanted to see not just the colour that people buy, but say there's a colour selector, you want to see which ones that people are clicking on. You can use this little simple bit of code. You do need to be able to add it into the HTML of your page, but you would put that in wherever it is that people click on the red colour selector, and then what this would do is push that information into your data layer. So there you've got it ready to access and pass through to Google Analytics. And just to make this tool even more powerful, you can actually add in just a little extra line to your data layer push. And what this does is it enables you to trigger an event in Google Tag Manager. So here for our color selection, I've got color select as the event, so then Google Tag Manager can pick that up, pipe this data through, and in Google Analytics you'll have nice clean data because you've sent through exactly the information that you wanted to see. And I wanted to show you this. This is an example of some work we're doing for a client at the moment. So they've got a particular web page that's got, it's an induction process, and it's got several different steps, but when you actually click, so get started there on the first step and go to the next step, the URL stays the same. So in your standard Google Analytics tracking, you wouldn't actually see any change. But if you set up some data layer event tracking, you can see when they're clicking through the different stages, you can see the different options they're clicking on, and you can use that to really analyze your customer journey and improve the customer experience. So, and just to recap, the 3 takeaways that I wanted you to remember, these super useful reports, are the navigation summary if you're looking at customer journeys or the path through your site. Regex, which can make your life a lot easier, keep your Tag Manager container and your Google Analytics filters a lot tidier. And also the data layer, as it's one of the most powerful tools available to you to measure things, and you can measure pretty much anything on your site using that.